Hi, I wrote a note.
We did too.
Hi, Abraham. My name is Richard Debs, and I live in Beirut, Lebanon. I came to Boston 2 weeks ago, and when I found out you were coming, I said I wouldn't miss this for the world. My question today is about relationships. I'm a gay man, and I have been desiring a relationship for a few years now. In the beginning, my goal was to find the perfect man for me, and after trying to manifest that and failing, I took a step back and examined my creation. This came right after I almost gave up on the whole thing. I decided to be more general and said I want to first see more gay people around me because I've never seen gay people where I'd lived before. After that happened, I set another goal to see gay couples, and that started happening. And I started setting small goals that I could believe that would get me closer to my dream. So very slowly, I've been changing my vibration in relation to this matter, and I can see my desires starting to manifest. My life today is so different than it was years ago, and every day I see more and more evidence that I'm getting closer to my goal. However, I'm starting to get a little impatient, and I start to think, why hasn't it happened yet? Also, I think part of the reason why is because I've never been in a relationship before, never dated or anything like that, because I was always so focused on becoming successful at work and can't get myself to imagine being in a relationship and keeping that vibration long enough. This is something I've wanted for over 5 years now, and I feel that I'm ready to experience. So hit me.
While we were appreciating, everyone was, the carefully thought out and well-spoken statement of where you have been and are. In light of what you just heard us say about step 1, step 2, step 3, and now step 4, you were solidly in step 1 through all of that. Sort of explaining what you want, explaining that you don't have it, explaining that you want it, explaining the discomfort of not having it, explaining how long you've wanted it, explaining the discomfort of wanting it for so long, sort of justifying why you don't have it because you were distracted with your career and other things. And so while that was really, really good, and while what you were doing there represents almost every person on the planet relative to things that they want, as long as you're stuck in step 1, you don't see any progress at all. At all, at all, at all, at all, at all. That's why 5 years goes, 10 years goes, 15 years goes, years and years and years pass when you say, I want this thing I do not have, I want this thing I do not have. I want this thing I do not have, I want this thing I do not have. I don't even know anybody that has this thing that I want. I want this thing I do not have, I want this thing I do not have. I'm discouraged that I do not have this thing I want. In other words, you feel how the vibration was what you want and the opposite of it. So you just kept, and it's all right. Everybody does it. Okay. They should stop, but everybody's doing it. Just continuing to introduce the resistance, right? So you don't make any progress. I want it, but I want it, but I want it, but. But it's not just that way. It's I want it, but I want it, but I want it, but I want it. But it's not just I want it, but I want it, but I want it, but it's I want it. I really, 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 really want it. I want it. So you've launched these vibrational rockets of desire that we explain to you have been satisfied. Everything's been lined up. The path is all lighted up, but you can't see it because you're at a different altitude in your airplane than what you want is. So you're flying around at 20,000 feet looking for something that's at 50,000 feet and wondering why you're not finding it. You just got to change elevations. You just got to change vibrational frequencies, which means you got to tell different stories. And usually the best way to begin telling a new story is to stop telling the old story, because you just keep the old thing activated. And the thing that's so interesting, law of attraction is such a clever thing. As long as you keep the old story activated, law of attraction just keeps bringing it to you, which just keeps confirming your belief. I believe something that I do not want. I believe that this is hard, or I believe that in some cases it's impossible, when it isn't. So step 1, you've clearly defined it, enough to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. So let's move on. Step 2 isn't your work, because that's source answering what you want, and law of attraction lining it up. And so it's like in this new analogy that we've offered today. So you're asking, let's say, at a vibrational frequency of disappointment or frustration. Disappointment or frustration. Disappointment or frustration. So you're asking at that level. And the answer, what you're looking for is here. And so you can't see it unless you come up to where it is. Because if it comes down to where you are, it doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you've got. Oh, wait, that's what's happening. Mm-hmm. So you're the one that has to move vibrationally. Many people would say, just give me what I want and then I'll move. And we say, it doesn't work that way. You've got to move first. And so you've got to find a way. So the best way is by telling a better story, a story that matches what you want. But law of attraction is sort of holding you to the old story, because what you believe is what you get, and then what you've got is what you believe. So what you believe is what you get, and then what you get is what you believe. You have to find some way of breaking that cycle. And this is what we're telling you about waking up in the morning with a determination to feel good. Esther, once she's been listening to us for a long time. And once she got hold of this, really clearly hold, Esther, we said, you've got 17 seconds when you're feeling good not to screw it up. Those weren't our words. That was her interpretation of our words. But it's what we meant. You have 17 seconds. So I should say to a friend, I have something I really want to tell you, and I only have 17 seconds to do it in. Not exactly the application we were hoping for. But at least we had her awareness that you have to find a thought and maintain it for 17 seconds. So let's do that here. Now, in this environment, it's a little bit like waking up and being in vibrational alignment. You've listened to us a little bit, gave a powerful opening that is in perfect vibrational alignment with the source within you. You resonated with the source within you. It's why you lighted up for us. It's why we thought it was a good idea to bring you here fast, because you were tuned in, because we distracted you till you got your paper out. We distracted.
I'll throw it away.
We distracted you from the vibrational frequency. So this is a good environment for you to practice the vibration of what you're looking for. So it's like you've just awakened, and let's pretend. It's not such a pretending. Let's acknowledge. Let's assume that you've just awakened. You are in that high-flying place because there's been a suspension of momentum while you sleep. And now it's your intention to maintain that vibration alignment. Do you think the best idea is to take the issue that matters more to you than everything else put together and contemplate that now?
No.
Because if you do, it's just a sure... It's sure, isn't it, that you're going to lose your connection. So what we want to convey to you, what we want you to all hear from us, if we can convince you that the connection is what matters and solving that problem isn't, if you can hear that, because if you can sustain the connection for a little while, the problem will evaporate. Because in the absence of the vibration of it within you, it can't continue to be your experience. So have we convinced you that what matters is the alignment? That's what matters is the alignment? What matters is the alignment? What matters is the alignment. And the subject doesn't matter. Now, that's hard for you to hear, isn't it? Because you've been working hard. You told us. You've been working hard. You've been trying hard. You try hard to get from where you are to where you want to be. And we want you to understand, and we know it must just be so irritating to hear this. You've been wasting your time. Can't get there from there. The harder you try, the more you practice the vibration of resistance. And then the louder you ask, but the more you've practiced the vibration of resistance. So you just have to let the things that you want that haven't been coming go for a while. Just let them go. Stop using what you want that you don't have as your excuse to not feel good.